Rhodes level 15, couple passives to review. The first passive will apply 5 stacks of defense buff right when the battle starts, and will also apply attack buff every time Rhodes uses his sword to attack. The second removes all harmful effects on Rhodes and applies a defense buff every time he uses his shield to attack. Because he's going to be continuously applying attack buff and defense buff, the key to this fight is using Orbia's Light Staff S2 to strip buffs. I am running Konomiya, Fire Fairy, and Bastet. Konomiya is on a triple HP build, Awakened 15, fully skilled up. Fire Fairy is on attack, crit rate attack, fully skilled up, Awakened 10. Bastet is also on triple HP, fully skilled up, Awakened 10. Like I mentioned, Orbia's Light Staff S2 is the key to this fight. It not only strips but also applies beneficial effect block. Now, because of Rhodes' passive of removing harmful effects on himself every time he uses his shield, your beneficial effect block won't be as effective, and so you're primarily using S2 for strip. And because of that, Konomiya's role here is to heal, but primarily I am using Konomiya's cooldown refresh to get Orbia strip up as soon as I can. Fire Fairy is primary DPS, and Bastet here is our primary sustain with her shield, as well as attack break on the boss whenever he is not stripping debuffs from himself. Let's take a look on how this fight works. The first thing to do is to make sure your units are on follow so you can dodge mechanics. I always open up with S2 strip. That missed, followed by S1 buff, and then S3 that does damage if there's no debuff, more damage. And then after that, I like to stack close to the boss because I found it a lot easier to dodge his mechanics, especially as my units are following me around whenever I am closer to the boss rather than further away. And from there, it's really just about cooldown management and also making sure your team is dodging all the mechanics. And I say team specifically because it's easy for Orbia to dodge, but it's a lot harder to make sure all your units are also following. And I really try not to use Konomiya's heal as much as I can. I am saving his cooldown for his cooldown refresh in order to get my S2 strip back up. It is very important to be careful whenever Rhodes has 5 or more of his attack buff up, because that's when he's the most dangerous and can potentially one-shot your units. So he has 6 up right now. That's fairly dangerous. That was a terrible dodge, but we still got it done. So there you have it. Manage your cooldowns to have S2 up as often as possible using Konomiya's refresh. You want to prioritize your strip whenever Rhodes has 5 stacks or more of his attack buff, because that's when he gets really dangerous. If he has 10 attack buffs up and your strip is down and Konomiya's cooldown refresh is also down, sometimes I'll run around in a circle until my strip is back up because I don't want to get one-shotted. You could easily replace Fire Fairy in this comp. She is just a DPS unit here. If you're running Kina or Cleaf, or like to build a full auto team for Rhodes level 15, I highly recommend you build a Water Lich. Water Lich has strip that makes this fight a lot easier and will replace his attack and defense up with defense break and attack down. I don't have a Water Lich currently built, and so I can't make a video on that, but if you are interested in clearing this on auto or with Cleaf and Kina, I do highly recommend a Water Lich. Good luck, everyone.